probably seeing a lot of the things that you wanted to see in the first half, Luka and Marcus getting on the floor, and then, the second half not being as crisp and as sharp, but probably groups of guys that aren't going to play together a ton. How do you balance the kind of the pluses and the minuses?
It's very simple, actually. We're trying to form consistent habits. And so if you're trying to do that, that means everybody. It doesn't mean 3 guys. You need everybody doing that. And thought there were some really good things we did tonight on both ends of the floor. There were some possessions in the first half where we were able to execute multiple square to reds, multiple pick and rolls, finish with a block out. Thought our throw aheads in the first half were fantastic. But if you want to be a good team, you got to do it every single time. You got to do the right thing every single time, and that's where I don't think any of the groups tonight were as consistent as they need to be. And to me, we took a step forward with some of the defensive stuff from the other night against Golden State, and we took a step backwards tonight, and that's, I think, a little bit frustrating.
Specifically for Luka and Marcus Smart, since it was their preseason debut, what did you make of both of their games?
I thought Marcus was very physical and tenacious. Would have liked to have gotten him a shot, at least one, in 20 minutes. That's where I think just, fooling around with the game a little bit. Didn't like some of the no pass possessions and some of the shot selection. And then Luka, he did some good things. I said at halftime to you, he had 2 opportunities to score right at the rim in the first half and try to make the pass to DA for the lob. And I think just first time, trying to work that partnership. But I like what I saw from him, and I like what I saw from Marcus.
JJ, that sort of pick and roll partnership, you can fast track it. In some ways, I'm sure I try to, like you said, like your daily vitamin sessions and things like that. But does it really take just repetition on nights like this to get as in sync as it needs to be?
Yes, and 2 goes back to the small interactions. I thought for most of the game we were really good with that, player to player, and there has to be, it's my job to help problem solve, and that's what a coach does, right? We problem solve, but some of that problem solving in real time has to happen on the court, and that's where I think there's some really positive trends for our team.
We didn't really get a chance to talk to you about this because it happened in the off season, but you guys, to make this team come together, had to make a decision on Jordan Goodwin. Obviously, he's a guy that you trusted in a big role in your first year on the sidelines, and I know you guys are still in touch. You mentioned texting with him prior to the first preseason game you guys played. Just what do you make of his game, what he's doing for the Suns, and just the business of basketball that you weren't able to keep him with the program?
Yeah, Goody and I talked about that, and it's just the nature of how things played out this summer. I don't know how much I can say about that, but I love Goody. I loved coaching him. To me, he's an NBA player, and I think there's probably every coach in the league would love to have a guy like him. Just no nonsense, plays hard, great teammate, does all the stuff that as a coach it's sometimes hard to ask guys to do because it's not glamorous, and he just embraces it. And I've seen him play enough, and I've watched him as his coach, and I've seen him prior. Not surprised that he was, able to have a really strong offensive night.
And looking ahead to tomorrow, Jackson, Gabe, Brewy, Vander didn't play tonight. Safe to assume they will play tomorrow. Yes. And would that mean AR, Luka, DA, someone else would not play?
Yeah, we're still going to make some decisions on that. We obviously want to be smart with 4 games and 6 nights in the preseason, so we'll make those decisions. But the guys that sat tonight that are healthy will play tomorrow.
JJ, you mentioned some of those small interactions, getting better at those. What are some of those moments that come to your mind, at least for tonight?
I think there was some stuff defensively on dead balls where I saw guys talking, trying to fix things. I know DA just in the last 3 or 4 days is really starting to get vocal on the court, and he was that again tonight. I think Luka and AR, it's their, to me, it's their biggest point of development this season. Just growing as on-court leaders and off-court leaders.
You mentioned pregame kind of the mental space that Luka's been in that kind of allows him to find that weird sort of mix of like joy and rage, and did you see that tonight? Did it look like the kind of the guy you had seen prior? Did it? Do you know what I'm saying? Like even in small moments.
No, he's a weirdo. Yeah, it's the skipping up the court and stuff. I think it's good, and that's not to say he has an ability to do what I would call it like silly stuff, but still be locked in. It's important to him that basketball is fun, and I've talked about this a lot in the last since I was his teammate, but. He's at play, and that's part of what makes him great. It's a discovery process of play every single time he takes the court, and there's certain things that you have to be okay with. There's certain things that are non-negotiable in terms of accountability, and that's why he's such a pleasure to coach, because he allows me to do that while still giving him the freedom to take one-legged shots.
I'm starting to realize that I'm so used to vibes where you see the opening, you don't, but it's different. He's damn near drawing the foul at the same time and throwing the late lob. And it's just, I have to be patient. Just reading the eyes of just being patient with him and drawing fast at the same time. The pressure on that big so we can be honest. He's truly overwhelming, man. He's one of the generational player when it comes to that big role. He's doing like he had eyes on the back of his head. He was finding guys in the weak side corners and I thought passes to me, but I'm ducking my head, putting passes into the corners. So that was really fun.